Far Cry 5 is the game that's getting most of my attention lately. I will be honest, I haven't really liked a Far Cry game in quite a while. I mean, they're really great for when you don't have anything else to play, but they get repetitive very quickly. And I'll say Far Cry 5, it kind of is a step in the right direction. The gameplay overall is a little formulaic. Okay, it's a lot formulaic, and it does get repetitive, but where the game really keeps you going and keeps you wanting to play and move forward within the game is really the story and the characters. I adore the story and the characters in Far Cry 5. Without getting into too many spoilers, Far Cry 5 is based around this like backwoods, insanely crazy religious cult. They're all psychotic, they're all sadistic, and they're all amazing. The leaders are, you've got Father, you've got John Seed, who's my favorite because he's a sexy dude, and he kind of a little bit reminds me of Handsome Jack, who is one of my all-time biggest video game crush guys. He's definitely super sadistic. He's more on the side of torturing people, a lot of pain, and just kind of a mental mind fuck, but using pain and trying to get rid of your sins. And there's Faith, and she is definitely the more psychological person, but she uses more kind of like psychotic drugs or psychedelic drugs and stuff like that to really make your mind mushy and moldable for her. And then there's the Father, and he's just the craziest of them all because he leads all of them. And that's really where I'm going to end the going into details about, you know, the characters and really the overlying story, because there's a lot of spoilers to be had. But it's a really great and fun storyline, and again, I'm loving the characters. The gameplay, like I said, was pretty repetitive. It's just the same formula as every Far Cry. If you really love, you know, Far Cry games, then this game you'll even love even more. But it is the same game you've played a million different times. It's just been called different things. It's open world. You've got tons of missions where you have to go and you have to secure this location. You go to this point of interest and then you kill all the bad guys and get meh kind of loot. There's of course the destroy the convoy missions. There's flying missions, which I hate flying. Actually no, I don't mind the flying in this game. I actually like it. I hate the flight combat. The air combat sucks. But what sucks more is the driving. I absolutely freaking hate the driving in this game. I can't stand it. I avoid all driving missions like the plague, or I find a different way to go about getting the objective done because I hate it. But talking about driving, there's tons of different vehicles to get around the open world, and it never feels like you're running from one point to another and spending too much time in that traveling, because there's tons of different modes of transportation. You know, you've got cars, trucks, little ATV things, boats, planes, helicopters, and tons of fast travel. Thank God for fast travel. There's tons of that and tons of available places to fast travel to. There's also a lot of hunting, which can be a lot of fun, especially if you have Boomer, which is the dog companion, or the bear companion, because, you know, of course the bear is a heavy hitter. And there's also fishing, which I find strangely calming. You know, you go through this huge gun battle with the cult members, and then you go fishing. But one thing I just touched on, which I think is new to the Far Cry franchise, which is your guns for hire, or your companions. As you progress through the game, you can unlock just normal NPCs that you can hire to follow you around, and they have different skill bases. Like, maybe one's good at assault rifles, one's good with a rocket launcher, one's good with a sniper and a bow, and on and on and on. And you can bring them along with you, and they individually also have special perks that they unlock with certain kills. Like, after their first 5 kills, they unlock a perk, and after their next, I think, 12 kills, usually, they unlock their next perk. And that is so helpful. But then there's your, like, premium guns for hire, and that's your dog, Boomer, who's, I believe his skills are that he can detect enemies faster, which of course puts a little bloop over their head so you can follow them around. And then you get this dude whose name is escaping me right now, but he's got a plane, he can drop bombs for you. A sniper chick who I have, her name's Grace. I have her follow me around everywhere. And then you can also get like a bear, and I think you get a mountain lion at some point. I have not gotten the mountain lion yet. And there's a good chunk of the premium guns for hire on top of the regular, just run-of-the-mill NPC ones. And that mechanic's awesome. I absolutely love it. I think it adds a whole new type of strategy to each of the bases that you're going to try to take out. Some of my favorite missions are called prepper stashes, and those are kind of like your treasure hunt. You know, you'll get there and you'll find a paper that kind of tells you where the actual treasure is, but you can't just get to it. Then there's another thing you read, and that kind of tells you, gives you a little hint of how you're going to go about getting to it. So one I did was, that's the first one's coming to mind, was I had to kind of maneuver this like jumping puzzle to get to this power station to turn on the power, which then unlocked the door, but then the ground became electrified, and I had to find a way, you know, another little jumping puzzle to get up and around the electrified floor to get to the treasure, and that was cool. My other favorite one was I had to go through someone's homemade haunted house, and that was awesome. I loved the haunted house and you had to make it through to the end. Oh, and then there was this other one that you went through, and it was pretty simple, and you got to the thing to turn the power on, but then the whole place was booby-trapped and rigged to kill you. So you had to quickly like get to the open door, which had sprinklers on it, so you could put the fire out that you were definitely going to catch on fire. Like, there was no way around it. There were beams falling, and you duck really quick and slide under them, and things were blowing up, and you were catching on fire, but you had to put the fire out really quickly before you died, and it was just awesome. So yeah, those are definitely my favorite missions. Plus, you get super sweet loot at the end. There's tons of things to do in the map, and the map itself is actually pretty cool. It's all 3D, and you can zoom in and out, and it's just really neat. And there are 3 different lands of the map. There's, up top is Jacob's domain, then there's Faith's domain, and down at the south, which is where I started because I wanted to go to the dog first, is John Seed's domain. I've already made it through his, and I think I'm a little over half done with Faith's. I honestly don't know if I'm going to actually ever finish this game because God of War is about to come out, and I don't see myself picking Far Cry 5 back up unless I really have nothing else to play. It's one of those games that I'm having a lot of fun with, but I just think that once I remove my Far Cry tunnel vision and focus on another game, it's not going to be the kind of game that I'm just like itching to get back into. Maybe I will dabble around with it a little bit more, but the amount of hours that I see myself having to put in to actually beat it, because I'm a completionist and I got to complete every little area before I move on to the next, I don't think I'm ever going to get it done, but we'll see. Maybe. I hear it's got a pretty sweet story twist and stuff at the end, and I'd really like to get to that. I don't watch that shit on YouTube if I'm going to get the twist. I want to actually get it through my own game, but I hear it's pretty awesome, so I want to get to that. I just don't see myself really getting back into Far Cry after God of War, but who knows? Maybe I will. So yeah, I think Far Cry 5 is a great game. I think it's a step in the right direction for this series. I would like a little bit less repetition there's tons of stuff to do, but it's all the same stuff over and over again. Like I said, it's, take over this base, or go clear out this point of interest, or go, blow up this convoy of trucks, and that's really kind of about it. There's not a whole lot more, maybe if you throw in the flying missions, but those are, not as often as the other ones that I just mentioned. So yeah, it can get a little repetitive, but it's really the story and the characters, as I said, that's pulling me through this game. I think that if it didn't have the story it did and the characters that were so interesting, I don't think I'd be playing much of it. So yeah, big props to the story and the character development, guys, because that's really what's keeping me invested in this game so much. Oh, and I didn't really touch on the combat. The combat in the game is good. It's just kind of like video game combat. There's nothing unique about it. There's nothing really amazing about the combat. It's just good, which is great. I'd rather have just good combat than really shitty combat. This combat is good. It does everything I want it to do. I got all the different weapons and the different, throwables and melee weapons that I want, so I'm happy. One thing I should probably touch on is the game's microtransactions, although I don't know if you can call them microtransactions. Maybe a little bit. There's a premium currency, which you can buy for money. Those are silver bars, and you do find those out in the game's world, mainly in safes and some of the prepper stashes and stuff. You'll find those, but not really enough to buy any of the big hot items in the store. You're definitely going to spend real money, but you just get weapons and skins for those, and you'll find plenty of really great guns just early on in the game. I haven't really needed to buy any guns with premium cash. I have bought guns in the store, but none of the premium ones. And there's a lot of skins you can buy, which I think is kind of like a waste of money. The best things to buy are more ammo, more utility weapons or throwables and stuff like that, and upgrades for your guns, which is scopes and stuff that gives you the ability to carry more ammo. But that's really kind of about it. Other than that, the skins, Like, who cares if your gun is blue or green? But the worst one is skins for your character. The game is first person. You don't see your character. So who the fuck cares what your character's wearing? Maybe the only time you care is when you're playing co-op. And there is a co-op, but it's shitty co-op because the person that joins your game, their game won't save any of the progress they've made in your game, which sucks. Like, why are you going to play a game and not get any of the progress? I think the last game that tried that was Fable 3. We all said we hated it. What a shitty design for a co-op. But hey, Far Cry is doing it too, and I don't see any bonus in that. I'm definitely not going to join anybody's game and, play and not get any shit for it. No way. And then lastly, there is one feature to Far Cry 5, which is called the arcade. I honestly haven't played any of it. I've been focusing on the single player so much. Arcade, though, from what I've gathered, it's a way that you can play player-created maps. And a lot of your skills from the single-player game, because you do have a skill tree that you can upgrade a bunch of, your abilities and stuff like that, a lot of those do carry over to the arcade mode, which is awesome. So I do want to dabble in it, I do want to play with it, but seeing that I'm trying to just play the single player and get through the story and stuff more, I don't think I'm going to be playing arcade anytime soon. I do want to try it though, but yeah, I can't really talk much about that feature since I haven't played it myself. But yeah, overall, I am enjoying Far Cry 5. I will say it again, it is very repetitive, but the story and the characters is really what carries this game. It is a lot of fun. I don't see the longevity of it though. I think once you are done with it, you're going to be done with it. Oh, but there is some DLC that's already out for it, some DLC that's coming. I am very interested in it because it seems fun. The DLC I think so far is like aliens and some zombies. I might be way off track there. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but I feel like that's the theme of some of the DLC that's either out or coming out. I'm not sure. I need to look into that more, but that could definitely be a way to get me back into the game after I finish God of War. But anyways, let me know down in the comments what you think about Far Cry 5. And thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And as always, I totally love you.